Have you ever wondered why there's such a large and growing wealth gap around the world? And that is despite many attempts by governments around the world to try and reduce discrimination and try to level the playing field. Well, when you think about creating wealth, it requires four conditions. Two of those are in your control, two of them are out of your control. The two that's in your control is regardless of which field you select to become wealthy or successful, it will, number one, require a lot of hard work. Second condition is you must make good decisions. You must go for options that have a big upside if it works, small downside if it doesn't, and stay the heck away from those that have a small upside if it works and a big downside if it doesn't. So hard work and good decisions are definitely two conditions that are in your control, but there's two that's out of your control. The third condition is good genes. Clearly, if you have good genes, it can be very helpful. Now, if you don't have great genes, if you're not that good looking, not that intelligent, not that gifted and whatever, it doesn't make it impossible to become wealthy or successful, but it's going to be much harder for you. We know that. But there's the fourth condition, that's the second one that's out of your control, which is good luck. So you need hard work, you need good decisions, you need good genes, or at least it will make it easier. And lastly, you need good luck. And the question is, to what extent does good luck explain the large and growing wealth gap? If we take an example like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, they're worth, depending on the time of day, around 150 billion US dollars. That's around 1 million times more than the average family that at retirement is worth around $150,000. Now, we know that they work hard. They clearly are able to make good decisions, and both of them were lucky with their genes. But 1 million times better? Well, just as a quick introduction, my name is Dr. Alan Barnard. I've always been curious about what is really behind wicked problems. Why do they sustain despite many attempts to try and solve them? See if I can come up with simple explanations that are testable about what the primary causes are, and also come up with some simple solutions, again, that are testable. And simulation has played a massive role in all my attempts to do that in the various fields that I've been able to contribute. So I want you to imagine the following situation. You're in a village, you're one of 100 people in the village. Each one of you has a personal wealth of $100 on day zero. And you're going to be trading over the next 100 days, every day trading with a different person in the village. Each time you trade, you have a 50-50% chance, just like all the other people in the village, of winning or losing. And if you win, you will win 20% of your wealth on that day. If you lose 20% of your wealth. And the question is, what will happen over just 100 days of trading? What do you think will happen? Do you suspect that because the probability of winning and losing is 50-50, that over time the randomness will just cancel out? And even though you might see some small differences, some being a little bit more lucky than others, it won't be substantial. Well, let's go and see what will happen. Like all the simulations that we build, there's a couple of parameters that you can change that will help you to test how sensitive the outcomes are to the various parameters. I've already shared them: the number of traders, the number of days, how much you win or lose, and the probability of successful closure. So let's see what happens. So the bars represent the wealth of each of these 100 people. The lines represent the trading with another person that they are doing that day. And you can see here on the right-hand side is a graph that's showing how unequal the wealth distribution is and what the difference is between the richest and the poorest. And I must say, the first time I built the simulation and ran it, even I was shocked, even though I suspected that the outcome is going to be very asymmetrical, very one-sided. I would never have guessed that in just 100 days, the gap could have grown by 85,000 times. The poorest trader being worth only 4 cents. They've gone from $100 down to 4 cents. The richest have gone from 100 up to $3,800. You can see that 92 of those 100 people those are all the red dots. They are sitting in that bottom 10% of the wealth. There's just 2 of them at the top there that makes up more than 40% of the total wealth. And we can have a look at the trading details here just to confirm it, to see why that happened. Well, our top trader was 61 and 77. They've gone to $3,700 and $2,500 now, combined owning about 45% of the total wealth of this little village. And why is that? Well, they were both lucky in that they won just over 60% of their trades and lost less than 40%, even though they had the same probability as everybody else. Let's look at what happened at the bottom. And as you can see, as we go down, these people have lost essentially everything. Why is that? Because they were just unlucky. They ended up winning less than 40% and losing slightly more than 60%. But what's very interesting is even if we look at the ones that had 50-50, that actually got the probabilities, they went down from 100 down to 13. And that's because we are harmed much more by big losses than what we benefit from gains over time. They accumulate, and this is one of the main reasons. But if we go back to the results, I just want you to also think about what the emotional and social impact of this is. Each of these people that ended up with red dots, they were willing to work hard. They went to work every single day. They made good decisions. They decided to trade, and they had the same everything, and yet they ended up losing massively just because of bad luck. So I think the lesson here is for those that end up being at this bottom 90%, you should pay respect to them. As long as they pitch up and they do the hard work, it really is an unfair system if they end up losing everything despite their hard work. For those that are at the top, there's this mathematical quirk where small differences over time gets amplified, and that can explain a major part of the big gap that we see in wealth all around the world, and why that gap keeps on increasing despite all the attempts to remove discrimination and to try to level the playing field. Having equal starting conditions doesn't guarantee equal outcomes because of luck. Now, the second question is, can small changes make a big difference? And there's a simple one that we want to test quickly, is to say, what if the government imposes a wealth tax of 20% on only those that win the transaction, and they take 80% of that wealth tax and invest it back to protect the poorest of the poor? Will that make a difference? So what we're looking for is, does it protect the poorest from not dropping below a level that they can simply not afford to live, that will obviously result in some kind of catastrophe in the future? And you see this was successful. The poorest is not dropping below the $50, which probably is around what they need to make a decent living. The richest are still able to grow substantially their wealth, so they are not constrained, but by far it's a better, equal, more fair distribution of wealth. Now, you don't have to wait for the government to implement these things. As an individual, make sure you don't take unnecessary risks. Protect yourself from big downside risk. That's probably by far the biggest strategy that we can employ. Do not take risks if you don't have the cash in the bank to be able to absorb those risks. So there's always something that you can do at an individual level to protect yourself from downside risk, but at the same time, if you do get those opportunities, that come, fully capitalize on the positive type of events that can happen in your life. I hope this was valuable. I wanted to show two things with this simple demo. Firstly is that luck plays a much, much bigger part in the wealth gap, and that probably, even if we could remove all discrimination, level the playing field, the wealth gap will remain growing larger and larger over time because of this mathematical quirk where small differences gets amplified over time. And the second thing I wanted to show is the power and value of simulation, to be able to gain deep insights into these wicked problems, understand why they are so robust against change initiatives, to be able to identify what the primary causes are, and also to test simple strategies that can make a big difference when it really matters. If you found this demo valuable, please like it and share it with others that can find value from it. And also, if you are interested in the work that my research labs does, you're welcome to go to harmonyapps.com. You'll see a whole range of decision support apps that we've developed to gain insight into primary causes and simple strategies and tactics to be able to resolve it. Thank you again for your attention.